Good morning, dear students, and welcome back to our chapter number 16, Digestion and Absorption. And today we are going to learn about pharynx. Okay, so pharynx, it is the posterior and extremity of the buccal cavity that narrows into a short pharynx. Pharynx lies between buccal cavity and esophagus. Okay, and it is about 12.5 centimeter in length and divided into three parts. Okay, so the first is the anterior broad part and upper part, and that is known as the nasopharynx. Okay, in this picture you can see different types of parts is given here. Okay, so it is related to the process of respiration. The second part is located below the palate behind the buccal cavity, and that is called as oropharynx. Okay, so it is the function of the translocation of food. The third part is called the laryngopharynx. Okay, and it is situated below the palate behind the pharynx. Okay, so it receives many openings. So I'll tell you, in pharynx many openings are present here. So the first is two nasals opening or internal internal and knees are opening here, and secondly we having two openings of the astrochin tubes of the ear, means our ear tubes, they are also opening here, and the gullet means the opening of esophagus is also. Yes, and next we having is the glottis, means the opening of the trachea into pharynx. Okay, so when the food is swallowed and the transchip opening, that is glottis, remaining closed by epiglottis, and internal narrows are closed by the uvula. Clear? So here you can see in pharynx there are many types of opening is there, right? Okay, so in this way next we having is esophagus. Okay, so as you all know that it is a muscular tube that about of 25 centimeter long in man and leading directly to the stomach. Its opening into a stomach, it is surrounded by many layers. Okay, so that layer, that muscle, that is known as sphincter muscle. Okay, so it is surrounded by this muscle. Now food passes down to the esophagus by the peristaltic movement of its muscular wall. Okay, the inner mucus has longitudinal folds, that is esophagus roughage. Okay, that prevents entry of the air. So basically this is the function of esophagus, or we can say it is a circular muscles that warmly maintain of any internal body, right? Yes. Now next is we having stomach. Stomach, we are already aware of these, right? So stomach is generally look like a J-shaped elongated sac that lying just under the diaphragm on the left side of the abdominal cavity, right? The stomach can be divided into three parts. Okay, so look at, this is the picture of figure number 16.12. This is the structure of a stomach. So when we will see the divide, it is divided into three parts, that is cardiac stomach, fundic stomach, and pyloric stomach. So let's talk about the cardiac stomach. So basically stomach is divided into three parts, dear students. So the upper part, that is nearer to the heart, is in which the esophagus open, that is known as the cardiac stomach. Okay, in which the esophagus open. Now fundic stomach means the elongated part towards left is the fundic stomach, means it is situated on the left corner. Okay, now pyloric stomach, so the lowest part which opens into the small intestine, or known as duodenum, right? That is known as pyloric stomach. So we have seen that stomach is divided into three parts. Let's see more about it. So both the opening of the stomach are guarded by the sphincter muscles. Okay, means that is the wall of the stomach. So the opening of esophagus into the cardiac stomach is graduated by the cardiac sphincter, which prevents the regulation of the food. Regulation means bringing food to the mouth. That is clear? Yes. So we have seen the function of stomach. So I want to tell you that as well as in human animals also there is a stomach, right? So let's talk about the ruminant or compound stomach. Okay. So the compound stomach, or we can say a ruminant stomach. The animal, that is mammals, that chew the curd means the white salivary of the yes, saliva of the cow, yes. So that is called the ruminant animal, okay. Or we can say in other words, it is the multi-chamber organ that found in mammals, okay, the ruminant. So the animal which chew the curd, that is known as the ruminant animal. Examples we having like cattles, cows, buffaloes, sheep, goat, camel. So all these having the ruminant stomach. So the stomach of ruminant animal is specialized in structures, and it is divided into following four chambers. So first we having is the rumen. This is the largest chamber which follows the esophagus, okay, and it stores food temporarily, okay. And after the ingestion, this food return into the buccal cavity for better chewing by regulations caused due to the anti peristaltic movement, okay. Now next we having is rectum. So it is the second chamber. See my dear students, here the picture is given, yes, you can see in this picture. So in rectum, this is the second chamber of the stomach. So both rumen and reticulum contain numerous bacteria, okay, which like protozoa, which brings about extensive, yes, fermentation of cellulose. Clear? Now next we having is omesum. Omesum is the third chamber of the stomach, and the movement of the food that take place from the rumen and reticulum to omesum, where water and bicarbonate from the food are absorbed and food fats get concentrated. And I want to tell you that in deer and camel they do not have the omesum chamber. Clear? Now abomesum. So abomesum, it is the fourth chamber, right, of the stomach. From omesum the food passes into this chamber, which is called the true chamber, okay. The wall of the chamber that secrete HCl and pepsin enzyme, and the digested food is passed into a small intestine. So it is clear by this name, right? So basically we having the four chamber. Now let's talk about the function of stomach. So the function, we are already aware that stomach store food, yes, until it is partially digested, and the muscles of the stomach wall that kern means that mixes that food in a small pieces, okay, and mix the food with the gastric juice and water that soluble from the like sugar, alcohol and certain drugs are absorbed by the wall of the stomach, okay. Now gastric juice that kills the bacteria which enter stomach along with the food. Now pyloric stomach, it secretes a hormone that is called gastrin, which stimulate the secretion of gastric juice, okay. So basically we having the different types of functions in stomach also. Now let us talk about the small intestine, okay. So in small intestine, in man it is about 6.5 meter in length, and it like, yes, coiled up by the abdominal cavity, and small intestine can be divided into three parts. So this small intestine, it is divided into three parts. So first is duodenum, second is jejunum, and third is we having ileum, okay. So let's talk about the function of duodenum. See here I have drawn one picture. You can see this part is known as duodenum, okay. So it is the first part of the intestine that is about 25 centimeter long and U shaped in the appearance. So its descending limbs epules of velvet, which receives the opening of the combo bile duct and the pancreatic duct, okay. Now next we having is duodenum. So it is about 1.5 meter in length and narrow. You can see here I have drawn the structure, okay, which is not given in your book. So it is about 1.5 meter in length and narrow, that duodenum, and it is rich in the digestive gland, okay. Now next we having is ileum. So the duodenum and ileum has no clear cut demarcation. You can see they are attached. Okay, they are attached, so they do not having clear cut. Yes, and it is about 3.5 meter in the length, and ileum is characterized by the club shaped villi. Okay, so here villi like structures is present. You can see in your book which type of structure is known as villi. Okay, so the function of small intestine is it secrete hormone that control the secretion of pancreatic juice, bile juice and intestinal juice. Okay, so next we having is it carried out digestion and absorption of digested food, means it help in the digestion and digestive food. Clear? So this is the function of small intestine. Now next we having is the function of large intestine. Okay, so first of all let's talk about that large intestine is a wider than small intestine. Yes, it is about 1.5 meter long and lies cold in the abdominal and pelvic cavities in the shape of inverted U. Clear? So the division of large intestine, it is also divided into many parts. See in this picture. Yes, so large intestine is divided into caecum. First is caecum, next is colon, and last is rectum. Okay, so caecum, colon and rectum, these three names is, all the three names is given in this structure. You can see which part I am mentioning. So the opening of a small intestine into caecum is yes, is guarded by the ileocacula. Okay, that valve which allow the food to move down into the large intestine and not back into the small intestine. So from caecum that arises a worm like blind tube, so the that is known as the vermiform appendix. Okay, so it is about 8 to 10 centimeter in length. In human, it is regarded as the vestigial organ without any definite function. Sometimes appendix gets inflamed, that causing pain and uses as discomfort. The condition is known as appendix. Clear? Now, in many herbivorous animal like cow, goat, right, so the vermiform appendix is developed and functional, and it helps in cellulose digestion. And at the place of the opening of ileum into the large intestine, there is a valve. There is a value which is known as the ileocacal. Caecal. It regulates the movement of food into large intestine from the ileum and does not allow the reservoir movement. Clear? Now the column, that is the colon in U-shaped tube, which is divided into four parts, that is ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon and sigmoid, or we can say the pelvic colon. So rectum. Now let's talk about the function of rectum. So this is the last and the end part of the large intestine. So rectum is 15 centimeter long, that is terminal part of the large intestine, which opens to the exterior by anus. Okay, so it is graduated by the two sphincter muscles. Okay, so now the function of the large intestine is, it mainly functions of large intestine is absorption of water from the food, means mainly it helps in the absorption of water from the food. Now next is the secretion of mucus, it is done in the large intestine. Now egestion of undigested, or that is known as the fecal matter, okay, it is also done in the large intestine. Okay, so here we have discussed about many things like the function of stomach, small intestine, large intestine, esophagus and pharynx. Okay, next we will discuss in our next video. I hope you understood. Yes, do your studies and learn well. Thank you.